Hello and welcome everyone. And this is your astrology forecast for full moon in Aquarius. And this full moon is happening on the 19th of August. And it's very intense, challenging and testing. And there is a lot of pressure and a lot of burden and a lot of karmic release as well. This full moon is happening on the 27th degree of Aquarius, so it's very close to those last degrees of the sign. It's a closing chapter and it's full moon. It's some kind of closure, it's some kind of illumination and revelation. Something is coming to light, something is brought to the surface, something that has been neglected, ignored, denied, avoided, suppressed, and it's coming up. And it could be very wild and very eccentric and very rebellious. This is a revolutionary, freedom-seeking full moon. And we may all feel this inner revolution, inner rebelliousness, and this need for freedom, this need to break free from something that's been very restrictive and limiting. And the ruler of this full moon is Uranus. And this full moon is making a square with Uranus. And squares bring crisis, they bring pressure, they bring tension, but squares also help us grow. They help us break free from something. They help us, they kick us out of our comfort zone, and they help us do something that we wouldn't otherwise do. So it's very helpful when we have these squares because they push us into the unknown. They make us do things that we wouldn't do, that we would get lazy if there were no squares. So this square with its ruler will definitely push us into something unknown and uncertain and maybe scary, but we will do things despite the fear. We will feel fearless. This full moon in Aquarius is really giving us that rebellious, revolutionary inspiration and willingness to change things. This is a great theme of freedom. And Uranus and Saturn rule Aquarius, and Saturn is also involved in this game very much. It has a big role because Saturn is in Pisces and it's making an opposition with Venus. Venus is in Virgo and the Sun is of course in Leo, in the opposite sign from Aquarius. So whenever we have full moon, it's time when the Sun and the Moon are looking at each other. They are in opposition. So they are face to face with each other. So we have the Sun in Leo, the last degrees of Leo, and the full moon in Aquarius. And the Sun is preparing to enter Virgo. Venus is already there, so we'll talk about that later. And this square with Uranus could really bring something shocking, something unexpected, something sudden, you know, like making snap decisions, like I just want to quit everything. I'm out of here. I'm done with this. Enough is enough. I cannot do this anymore. You know, making snap decisions without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about tomorrow, without thinking about how we're gonna, you know, survive if we cut off everything that we want to break free from. So let's also be a bit careful and let's not, you know, remove everything. Saturn is about, you know, the past and law and order and also wisdom, also extremes, also restrictions and limitations. And it's good that we have this Saturn now in the play of this show, of this full moon, because it won't let us break loose. Because we do need to be cautious. We need to take calculated risks, not foolish risks, not, you know, going, being extreme, being eccentric just for the sake of being eccentric, or being rebellious just for the sake of being rebellious. We have to know why we are doing things. We have to be aware. You know, we have to make conscious decisions, not impulsive, emotional, snap decisions, because this is when we do foolish things, and this is what we regret later. Or we pretend we don't regret, we say I don't regret anything, and we just keep making that rebellious those rebellious decisions over and over again, and it can be very destructive as well. And Saturn is in Pisces, and full moon is in Aquarius, and we are experiencing a mini replica of transition between from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And I'll mention this later. I'll read a couple of paragraphs from the book The Age of Aquarius, and I highly recommend that book. Again, you can find it on our website. It's full of very valuable and practical information that can unlock some hidden and locked potentials within us as human beings. And Uranus is about evolution, it's about awakening, it's about moving to a new level of being. Uranus is a rule breaker, and it's about authenticity and uniqueness. And these shocks and surprises could really initiate us into the new level of being. So we can expect many wake-up calls, turbulences, shifts, earthquakes and volcanoes. Again, this Uranus is pretty much active in every lunation, in previous lunations too. And it's about, we need to shake that ground, to shake our earth, to shake our bodies, to feel the tension, so that we have to make the change. Something has got to change, and we have to honor some of the wisdom from the past. This is about the freedom of expression. We are seeking that freedom. What we believe to be true. What is my authenticity? Not following the crowd, because these are the themes of Aquarius: the collective, communities, tribes, crowds. But collective is made up of individuals, and we have to build our individuality, not to rely on the collective, not to think that, not to identify with our nationality, with our country, with our community. We should be aware of our individuality and how we add up to that collective picture, and not the other way around. Because I see many people who strongly identify with their religion, their tradition, their nationality, their flags, but it's all just an illusion. Who are you without all of that? Who are you without your name, without your roots, without your genetics? Who are you truly? Who are you when you are in your dreams? These strong identifications will be exposed now very much, and we'll see how many groups of people feel safer and feel less threatened when they are identified, of course, with their national teams, or their rulers and stuff like that. But these things are really being torn apart, and we will see the shocks. We will see the fear in those people who rely strongly on authorities, because they will have trouble to survive on their own. Can you survive without the system, without your authority, without your rulers, without your nationality, without your flag, without your, who are you truly? What is your identity? And we are wrapping up this Leo season. Leo season is about to end, and this is Leo Aquarius polarity. We are learning vulnerability in order to express ourselves. We are expressing our uniqueness. To express is Leo's archetype, and uniqueness is Aquarius. So we are expressing our uniqueness. This is our task. And, shining our light, being the kings and the queens. Leo, the king and the queen. Leo is all about the heart, and Aquarius is an air sign. It's a very mental energy. It's a mental plane. It's about the head and intelligence. It's archetype of genius and scientist. It's about thinking outside the box. It's about our brain. But it's about our brain and our heart. Aquarius and Leo, our mind and heart. These connections, we have to build the bridge between these two powerful tools that we have in order to become true human beings. We may be born as humans, but we are yet to become a true human being. We don't know what it means to be human, so we are learning. Whenever we have strong Aquarian archetype present, there are lessons about truly being human being. What does it mean to be in this life and to connect, to interact? What does it mean to have community? What is truly a collective? What is an individual? And this full moon makes an opposition not only with the sun, of course, but with retrograde Mercury in Leo. And Mercury is the messenger of gods. It's about, communication, it's about talking, it's about transport, it's about expression, and Mercury is retrograde in Leo. So we may have trouble to express our true feelings, to express our passion, to express our creativity. So we may feel a bit frustrated and irritated, but this retrograde energy is also giving us second chances, an opportunity to fix something, to correct something, to get a second chance to do something again, something that we have planned, something that we thought about. So we have an opportunity to finish the unfinished business, to find things that we lost. And these are not only material things, of course, but also our faith, lost hope, lost individuality. And it's about throat chakra, Mercury also. So it's about our thoughts and perception. And the head area, Aquarius, it's intelligent area, and Mercury also rules our intelligence and the left side of the brain. And it's very much mental energy. Mental energy is at higher voltage now. And it's about, balancing. Leo and Aquarius, balancing the heart and mind, finding balance between the head and the heart. But the throat is the center point between heart and mind. It's like the bridge. So our communication allows us to express our minds and hearts. And we have to use this Mercury in a powerful way, in a wise way. But this opposition could really be tricky. So we may be saying things that we don't mean. We may feel misunderstood. We may be misinterpreted, or we may do this to other people. So let's be very aware of our words and how do we truly express our mind and heart. Or what do we express? Do we express somebody else's thoughts? Do we express somebody else's visions? We have to be authentic. When we do it authentically, we cannot be wrong. And expression is very important. And we are asked to do it through joy, authentically. It's, Mercury is in Leo. Leo is about, joys and pleasures. Leo rules the 5th house of joys and pleasures, of love and romance, of children, of being playful, having fun. So can we express ourselves through joy and feel the authenticity and feeling the joy because of that authenticity? Not trying to fit into family expectations or any other expectations, not forgetting your own level of individuality. We have to try to be comfortable with our authenticity. And of course, it's scary to be authentic in the crowd because the crowd can judge you. It's scary to be authentic within the community if you feel different, if you want something different, if you have different perceptions and perspectives. But this is rebel archetype. This rebel energy will be awakened. But as I said, let's not be rebellious just for the sake of being different and rebellious. We have to use these things wisely, consciously, and this can be, whether you like me or not, I will express my opinion. I will be rebellious whether you like it or not. I will do this whether you like it or not. And we will see that this could be the great divide instead of the great divine. So we are asked to choose. Do we choose the great divide energy or the great divine energy? This is, massive transition from Pisces age to Aquarius age, as I said. And it's martyr. Pisces is the martyr, the savior. And we are now turning and transitioning from that martyr and victim into a real human being. And we are learning what that truly means. So I'm just going to read a couple of sentences from the age of Aquarius, from the part about the transition from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And okay, here it goes. It says, everything that's been suppressed, neglected, denied, and ignored will start exposing and coming out on the surface. We are collectively digging up our collective depths. We are becoming aware of the collective nightmare. We are waking up from this nightmare. We are terrified when we discover that we are living in this nightmare, and many struggle to find their way out. This is the balsamic phase of the ages, the dark moon phase of the ages. It's the darkest before dawn, and we are experiencing this right now. We are at the shift of the two largest stages, divine heights of the space in contrast to demonic depths of the time. Noble beast of the lion and new refined human, icy glow in contrast to dark warmth, chained Prometheus and liberated Prometheus. And yeah, that's it. I won't read anymore, but you know, if you are interested, there is a lot. There is a lot about what we are experiencing and some breaking codes and reprogrammings of lies that we've been feeling as true. So it's really, I highly recommend it. And we are now, you know, breaking bonds from perception that is interpreted through fears. And this perception that has been interpreted through fears is falling apart. And people who are used to live in that kind of perception could be very afraid because they are losing it. They have nothing to hold on to. They will have to recreate their reality. And this is like, you know, a blank canvas for many. It's an individual journey. And we have nothing to hold on to. Everything we try to reach as a security spot falls apart. And this is very good. We have to lose that sense of security in order to recreate ourselves, to face the fears, to face the anxiety, to face those traumas. And of course, Aquarius is very much related to traumas. And you can discover more about that in this book. I won't go into that now because it's a whole different story and it's very complex. And you know, this full moon can really shine a light on our unresolved emotions that are rooted in our psyche. And we don't, you know, we may feel like we don't trust each other. We don't trust anyone or anything. Can't trust anyone. It can be very disorienting. And, you know, like paranoid thoughts, panic attacks. Saturn is in Pisces. And we will have eclipses coming. We are near the eclipse season. It's in the middle of September. Full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. And this is like an initiation into that energy as well. Pisces, Aquarius, it's very transpersonal. It's a little bit otherworldly energy. Aquarius and Uranus always related to extraterrestrials and things that we don't really understand. And Pisces is about the otherworldly. It's altered states. It's something unknown and unreachable. So we may feel a bit disoriented. But this is what triggers us to search for answers, to search, to go on the path, to start the journey of the seeker. And this energy is really triggering crises in consciousness. So this is, you know, social conditioning is a big theme. And we are in the middle of the process that is, we are healing social distrust. You know, these are broken down boundaries, social shaming and traumas. And this social shaming will be strong. Something may come to light, you know, something that will shock the collective. It could be about someone who is, I don't know, a celebrity or some president, or it could be something from the past about someone, you know, who has a huge influence on humanity. And we are discovering something shocking, something, you know, that is going to make us either blame someone or defend someone. And this will tell us a lot about ourselves and where we are, which stage we are with ourselves. And we are invited to go deep into ourselves. We are illuminating ourselves. and this is the call of the inner voice. But we may experience this judgment and criticism strongly. We may be judging others, we may be judging individuals, we may have a strong need to judge others in order for us to feel better, or we may feel judged by others in some way. But this is all a lesson for us. It's not about feeling judged or judging others, but it's about really seeing why is it there, why is that need there in the first place, that need to comment someone in this way or to feel judged. Where does it come from, this need? And this will give us some intimate revelations, personal and social. And as I said, society is made up of individuals. Society needs individuals. System is dependable on us human beings, not the other way around. So we may see some destruction to a certain level of the system that we live in, system that we know. And the world as we know it is slowly but surely collapsing, and it's transitioning, it's shape-shifting actually, and we are shape-shifting as well. And of course, as we are changing, the world is changing, not the other way around. So it's like an everlasting shape-shifting process of how we are exploring life and ourselves. And without individualized kings and queens, there is no social awakening. It cannot happen by some miracle. And we are always hearing and listening those stories that some miracle is happening, that someone is coming to save us, that apparently the age of Aquarius is the blooming of consciousness, and it's all amazing and powerful. But first we have to face our own nightmares, our own unconscious and subconscious desires and attachments, our own traumas, our own fears, our own paranoid thoughts. We have to do the detoxification process first. It won't come like this. It's not for free, for sure. And we are going to learn about what true freedom is. The theme of freedom is very strong, as I said. So freedom, we are getting more familiar with what freedom truly means. And this is the archetype of soul manifestation, about the soul purpose. It's about original and unique identity. It's about the creative self. Leo, the fifth house, creativity. And Aquarius and 11th house, it's about the community. It's about the power of people. And this is the culmination of personality. Full moons bring things to a head. It's a climax point. It's, something is culminating. So this is the culmination of personality. And the most personal sign is Leo, and the ruler is the sun. And the sun is now in its own sign of Leo. So it's very strong. That personal identification is very strong. We may take things too personally, and we may feel threatened often. But the sun is the center, and we feel like we are the center, and everything revolves around us. But we may have to learn that there are others around us too. This is Aquarius. We are sharing this space with other individuals too. So, and also the sun is preparing to shift into Virgo, and Virgo is self-development. It's about working on the self, becoming more humble, turning towards others, be more service-oriented. So this is preparation for an individual to enter into those relationships, to enter into society where we have shared resources. And it's necessary for each of us to heal ourselves, to focus inward, to reflect, to remember, to reintegrate, to rejuvenate, to repair, to reconstruct, to reconsider, to rethink, to review, to reevaluate. And this is Mercury retrograde. We are, going through this process of reviewing our life, of reviewing who we are. And it's the process of healing of desires and impulses, healing of unconscious actions. And this square with Uranus will trigger many of those healings. And it's third eye awakening. It's an awakening of our pineal gland, and it's a theme of liberation and enlightenment and experiments and geniuses. But this Uranus is in Taurus, Earth sign, and Taurus is about resources and finances and belongings and talents and potentials. Mother Earth, her resources, food and nature and agriculture. And, we are going through the process of healing of Earth, healing our own needs, healing our own Earth, which is our body, our temple. And each and every one of us is unique. Each and every one of us has a certain gift. Each and every one of us is a genius in something. We can each internally identify our own unique gift, our gold, and we are finding our own gold. Sun in Leo, shining a light. But the story of together we stand, divided we fall. Us and them. This is polarity. There is no us and them. It's fake. It's a trick. There is no us and them. But we are continuously being pushed into this separation game of us and them. We are always competing. There is always some kind of rivalry. Like my team against your team. We are on the light side and you are on the dark side. It's, the light workers working against the dark forces. But in true essence, there is no such thing. These dark forces are actually helping us evolve, helping us see what's not right, helping us pulling out our shadows. So this full moon may be critical for many who are not able to comprehend the true nature of this reality and how it works. So it could be very hard for those who know how it works when they are dealing with their friends, their family who don't know how it works. So there will be the pressure as well. And this is, multiplicity of individuals. We have to heal our collective past, heal ancestry wrongs, heal things that we carry within ourselves that have happened through many lifetimes. And the more inner work we do, the more metamorphoses we experience. We are constantly transcending ourselves. Awakening is not one-time event. It's not like it happens now, I am awake and that's it. No, it's just the beginning. It's an ongoing process. We are always learning something new. We are always pushed on to the next level of learning and evolving. It's not like I have experienced one thing in life and that's it. There is no end. We don't become awakened and that's it. That's just the first step. And this could be seen as a battle between the personal and social, between inner and outer work, between visible and the invisible, between emotional and mental, between the vision and the feeling, between the inhale and the exhale, between the divine and demonic. But this is where we have to see that these things are polarized so that we can learn through them. They are not in its essence polarized. And we can repair and heal what's been torn apart now. We have that support, definitely. And we are invited to come into our center and share ourselves. This is, again, work and service. We have Venus in Virgo in opposition with Saturn in Pisces. And they are both making square with Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. And Jupiter and Mars in Gemini, they come into an exact conjunction on the 14th of August, but this will be felt for a couple of weeks, of course. And they are pretty close still during the time of this full moon in Aquarius. So Saturn is making square with Mars and Jupiter in Gemini, and Venus in Virgo is also making square with Mars and Jupiter. So this can be an expansion of something of anger, perhaps. Mars can become very angry, and Jupiter expands everything it touches. So Jupiter can expand the energy of Mars, and we may see things, going over the top, explosions, culminations. We may have a need to exaggerate with something, or we may be too self-indulgent, or we may have a need to be, to escape all these problems and chaos and just, enjoy the hedonism of life. Or we may feel too restricted and we may just, snap and do something crazy. But these energies can also serve us in a very powerful way, because Jupiter and Mars together can really help us learn something very quickly, or achieve something very quickly. Something that we usually need months for, we may need a couple of days now. And it's very powerful, and it's in Gemini. So we may feel, information overload, too many news and messages, lies, deceptions. We may not know what is true and what is not true, what is real, who is telling the truth, who is telling. These are mixed truth and lies. And that's why, again, we are invited to go within, to see, to ask for that truth within ourselves, and not in the external world, because it's always shape-shifting. It will never give us an absolute truth, the external world. It's an image that is always changing, that, we are painting it all the time. We have one image, and then the next day we may have a completely distorted image. So we have to clean our inner projector so that we have a clear image of the movie that we are projecting, the movie we call life. And, the sun is about to go into service-oriented, detail-oriented Virgo. We have to use it to heal, to serve, to work. Not to criticize, not to judge, not to blame, not to search for little faults and errors everywhere. We are overcoming something. But, instead of rising above it, we are actually invited to move directly through it. Because this is what will give us a true insight, a true wisdom that we can carry within us. But if we rise above it now, we will skip the lesson. And we don't want to skip the lesson, because it will come again in a different shape and form, maybe probably in a tougher way. And, this is an energy when we may finally be doing something, like finally coming to a decision point, finally understanding that we cannot keep on doing something again and again. Finally relief from something that we feel very like a strong burden. And, it is either exactly what we need, but it can also be opposite from that. It can be exactly something that we don't want, but it's something that our higher self knows that we need. And, extremes are highlighted and polarities, and we should be, on the watch out for letting others taking advantage of us. And we have to be courageous to see those projections without pointing fingers. And we may not be able to see the forest for the trees. So we are asked to see the bigger picture. And this is Jupiter seeing the bigger picture. Jupiter with Mars. We may have to go through some fiery communication with someone in order to break through those barriers. And we have to understand, what are we signing up for here? What are we becoming committed to? What are we ready to sacrifice in order to heal ourselves? And we should all ask ourselves, these questions, what are we ready to sacrifice in order to heal ourselves? And it's a lot about seeing the projected identity. We are going to see how much we project our own identity, and there's not going to be a possibility for faking anything. We cannot hide. Things will become more and more transparent. It's like we cannot hide how we truly feel when someone is next to us, how we truly feel about this person, or the other person cannot hide what they feel about us, and we will have to accept it, whatever it is, to see how we can, handle those energies, how we can handle the truth. And we won't be able to hide very much of what we feel and what we think, definitely. So this can be scary for many people, of course, but it's what is needed. And it's about truly cultivating the process of becoming humble. Humility in a right way, not in an unhealthy way, not in a people-pleasing way, not in a way that we sacrifice ourselves for for saving some of our toxic relationships. It's about, being the bigger person, being the better person, and it can be overwhelming, but not better and bigger for others, but for our higher selves. Because when we try to be better for others, we always somehow end up being self-destructive, because we don't know how to truly do this. We do this, we are trying to be better for others in order to please their wants and needs. But we will never be able to satisfy others, because everyone needs to fulfill their own wants and needs, of course. So it's also not very good to be self-focused totally. Not healthy for the individual. When we spend many hours thinking about ourselves, we can start feeling sick. And this is true. When we are obsessed with who we are, with how we look, how we speak, how we present ourselves, what others think about us, when we are too much centered on ourselves, we start feeling sick. And we can easily become obsessed when we think a lot about ourselves, and then we let our thoughts too much be focused on who we are, on our egoic personality. And this is a time to just try to detach a little bit from all of that, not to take things personally, try not to get too emotional about things. And this square between Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Gemini is asking us, how are we underestimating ourselves? Where are we settling for too little? Where can we develop more faith to express our authenticity? Where are we being geniuses? Where are you being genius? Where am I being a genius? We have to discover that. What am I a genius with? This is about, it's an audacity to believe in yourself. It's a true magic. It's really a true magic. And, everything has intention to evolve. And the dark sides are acceptable. Let's not forget this, let's not blame the dark forces. Dark side is acceptable. And it could be more challenging, but it's not bad. It could be hard, but it's not something bad. It requires some kind of sacrifice, some kind of compromise perhaps with ourselves, but this is what is needed now. And these energies tend to highlight those shadowy natures of archetypes that are in play. And sun is our identity, our ego, our creative force, our values, self-worth, and it can be very egotistical. It's in Leo, and all planets orbit the sun. And when sun is in Leo, we may be more narcissistic, or we may be in a relationship with those kinds of people, or we may have friends or family members who are narcissistic. But again, this is for a reason, right? They are there for a reason. Whatever we see and experience is there for a specific reason for us, and it's our job, it's our task to work with it, to see what it is, and not to blame it, to connect with other people, and to together put the blame on one person and to just isolate it from the society, from the community. That's not the solution. That's not how the age of Aquarius will work. And this is the old way. That's the way of the old world. I mean, there is no such thing as old world, but we use these phrases in order for our rational mind to understand how things work. And we may face our own neediness or somebody else's neediness too. There is need for approval. It's sucking energy, like vampire energy. And we have to be cautious of unhealthy ego. And we this behavior can be very tricky as well, because it can create a self-righteous behavior, and it's an attention-seeking energy. So we'll probably deal with those attention-seeking people. So let's see, are we suppressing our need for attention, and that's why it's coming there? Or do we still judge people who seek attention? Because whatever we judge, whatever we suppress, whatever we are not okay with is expressed, it's exposed, it's coming towards us in some way. When we don't like angry people, we attract those kinds of people into our life. When we suppress our own anger, we also attract angry people into our life. When we suppress jealousy, we attract jealous people into our life. And you understand the point. And we need to find an ability to rest in all of this. And emotions are deep and high. Thoughts and emotions are very strong. They cannot operate separately. And this Virgo archetype that is becoming strong now is very important. The virgin archetype, the purity, the mental, emotional, and physical hygiene, the purity of our mind, of our heart, and our bodies. This is the key. The purity of mind, heart, and the body. The purity of our intentions, pure thoughts, pure feelings, pure bodies. This is the key. And there is a big motivation and drive to become perfect. Virgo, the perfectionist, impeccable. Perfectionism, it's a mastery. Virgo, self-development, self-mastery. Saturn in Pisces, mastering the spirit. But we may also, have this downward process and experience of self-criticism, the other side of the Virgo, and self-doubt. So we will, feel like we are, on the pendulum between the perfectionism and self-criticism, between the purity and self-doubt. So if you feel yourself torn between these two, you are on the good path. You are aligned with these energies, and there's nothing wrong with you, because this is just the process of growth, and you are going through it, and everyone will have different experience and different perspective of it. And if you are judging yourself and questioning every word that comes out, you can't make a move forward. You have to become aware of this. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others, and how we treat others is how we treat ourselves. And this mirror effect will be very strong too. We may be hypercritical of other people, Virgo the perfectionist, comparing ideal with practical. Ideal Pisces, practical Virgo. And, too much worry, too much guilt, too much shame. Here is what I am and here is what I should be. And this will have a huge influence on our authenticity and our place in society, our place in community with others, our sense of self, Leo and Aquarius. And we have to, of course, accept our imperfections, courageously look at our own imperfections, especially in our world of thoughts. Mercury in opposition with this full moon, our thoughts. Mercury, perfectionism. What thoughts repeat? What thoughts are stuck in our mind? We have an opportunity to review them, to rethink, to question ourselves, to question our decisions, to question our thought patterns. And we have an opportunity to truly strengthen mind, heart, and throat. But not to strengthen it in a stiff way, but to strengthen it in a flexible way. To be brave, to look at our own recycle bin. Some things we may want to bring back from that recycle bin. Some things that we have thrown away before, that we thought we don't need them anymore, we may see that we need them. But we will have to enter our own recycle bin and search through it. So we may find some things that we thought are gone forever, and we will be reminded of them. And everyone will have different experience, of course, of it. Maybe some people will be fine with it. Maybe some people will have their traumas, unlocked again. Revisits from the past, ghosts from the past. Mercury is retrograde. And we have to accept those thoughts that are not good within us. Because our thoughts are not our own thoughts. we are like receivers and transmitters at the same time. So we are just deciding which ones we are going to, just process, just let them pass through us, which thoughts are we going to keep, which thoughts are we going to reshape. And, sometimes when we don't feel exalted or aligned with ourselves, we receive some thoughts that are not so good, and we identify with them. We think they are ours, but they are not. They don't belong to us truly. So we have to really learn to discern and put ourselves in the position of a master. Try to practice how that would be. Practice being a master. Pretend that you are a master. And recognize, we have an opportunity now to truly recognize who we are, with all our flaws and blind spots and weaknesses and things that we don't like and thoughts that we identify with that we don't like as well. There is a chance to see what's really going on, and we can choose to avoid what's going on, or we can use the energy to know that we've got solutions for everything. There is a solution for everything. There are new ways of doing things. Turn off the TV, turn off old news, think with your own head. Find your tribe, find people with whom you really resonate. Turn on, as I said somewhere before in our old videos on Instagram, turn on your inner vision, not the television, your inner vision. It's your true vision, because the external vision is stealing your own vision, and it's making it lose its strength. So we lose our ability to be the visionaries, but we are actually visionaries. So when we give our power away to those external tools too much, we lose that visionary power. Of course, technology is not bad itself. This is the age of Aquarius. Uranus and Aquarius archetypes, it's a lot about technology and great advancements in technology. Of course, we see more and more the use of AI, and it can be great. It can be very constructive, and it's, again, all up to us how we use it. and how we allow it to use us and to abuse us. So do we use it, or does it use us? That's the question. And this is Aquarius, the water bearer, the water carrier, air and water, two airwaves, the glyph of Aquarius. It's about crystals and frequencies, choosing our own frequency. What song are you listening to? It's very easy to see where you are, and which channel do you watch. Create your own frequency, create your own playlist, create your healing frequencies, and see what can we do for one another, how can we inspire one another, what is it that we want to change, what is one thing that you need to change, what can be done in a different and new way. And this full moon is reminding us that we are always between two extremes, and we have to accept other people's opinions. We don't have to take them as true, but accept it. Not having a need to change their thoughts, because we cannot do it in the end. We cannot change anybody's thoughts. We can only do it with ourselves. And this lion is roaring and we may hear some wild roars there from people who don't agree with us, or we may be the ones, who get very loud. And we are learning that there is always a way. As I said, there is always solution for everything. There is always a way. There is always something. There is always an alternative. There is always a solution. And this full moon in Aquarius is powerfully exposing that. And let's try to practice sending someone a good energy, even if we don't agree with that someone. Do something different. Let's surprise ourselves and somebody else. Uranus rules Aquarius. It's, master of surprises. So let's not allow these energies to surprise us in some uncomfortable way, but, let's do it before. Let's make good surprises. Let's do something that we wouldn't usually do. We've been taught to compete, always competing for something. I always talk about this. This demoralizes us. This makes us worse, not better. This helps jealousy, envy, hatred. It is selfish, and we have been taught to be selfish. So we have to unlearn those things and to recreate ourselves, to reprogram our behavior. Fighting and competing with one another. So in order for somebody to feel good, means that somebody else has to feel bad. And so we are changing this paradigm. We are changing that for good. And Uranus in Taurus and this square, it's really breaking things that are no longer working. And we may not be happy with what is breaking, but this break is necessary. It's what is meant to happen. Even if we think that those things are working, if they are broken, it means that they are not working, or that they would be dead very soon. Nature knows better. Trust me, life knows better than our egoic, selfish selves. It knows much better. And if it's not good, it will change, and we will have to adapt. And I know it may sound tough, but take it or leave it, it will happen anyway. And who can we trust? There is a lot of disillusionment, but as I said, we need to go within and find our own answers. And Aquarius is about community, and also online communities and physical communities. Uranus is in Taurus, and we are doing these communities in different ways than we've done before. And if we are coming into community out of fear, it's not good. So it has to be for higher good. And it has to be responsible, sober, and visionary, and creative. So we have to really work on developing those kinds of qualities. And it's very important how we speak with nature, how we speak to nature, how we connect with nature. Do we speak with elements, with our bodies, with our inner selves? You know, we are maybe not fully ready yet. You know, are you ready for truth? Or do we still need some babysitting? Do we still need lies? You know, we have to accept and welcome diversity. We are not all the same. We are all different and unique. And, you know, we have to understand also that there is no such thing as massive awakening. It's very important. You know, we can never get enlightened with somebody in a group of people. It's an illusion. You know, it's a beautiful lie for a majority of people. It's a personal path, and it's an individual thing. It's your own soul's journey. And, you know, not blaming anybody, taking responsibility, fighting for your own freedom. There are a lot of revelations and revolutions, and we are doing our inner emotional work, and we can grow quite a lot now. Flashes of insights will take place, and flashes of awareness too. And these things can destabilize us at some point, but this creates shift within ourselves. It can be uncomfortable for our personality, for our ego, but it's very comfortable for our soul essence, soul spirit. And the awareness that comes in will enhance our own qualities. And, you know, we have to understand that everything that comes into our field of existence is projection of our inner state of being. And Uranus can also trigger traumas, brings us deeply into a moment, and we have to process that dislocated emotional material. And that's what we are doing now, aware of fear within us. And Uranus will accelerate this awareness. But you know, we may be consumed by this fear, or we can use this fear to see it, to watch it, to cooperate with it. You know, these are deeper ongoing patterns, and some bridges may fall apart, but we are going to build new bridges. We are releasing certain beliefs that have been shaping our experiences. And, you know, this full moon illuminates what we need to liberate ourselves from. And these experiences could be related to our parents, to our childhood, you know, our relationships that ended up in a wrong way. And it's very important not to seek validation from the outside world. This is where we always give our power away. And we do need others to give us feedback, of course, but we shouldn't be dependable on others. This is a need for self-sufficiency in a healthy way. And we have to reclaim our own sense of self, you know, heal our individuality. These are primal needs. Primal needs will be exposed, and some fear responses will be unlocked. But, you know, we are trying to make sense of this world. But these fears are projected into our collective. We have to understand that there is something very big going on, and we have to align with those changes. We cannot live in accordance, in alignment with our old rules and old beliefs. And what do we take with us when we leave this world? It's very important to ask this question. Very important. And there is a very short story about a Sufi and a tourist. A tourist came to visit a Sufi, and he was shocked by Sufi's home. There was nothing. There was only a mat and a kerosene lamp. And the tourist asked, "But Sufi, where is your furniture?" And the Sufi asked the tourist, "But where is your furniture?" And the tourist said, but I'm only a visitor here. And the Sufi said, so am I. So let's remember, we are all just visitors here. And let's see what we are taking with us. What qualities do we want to take with us? And with this, I would end this video. And I wish you all a very powerful, transformative, uplifting, awakening, and shocking full moon in Aquarius. See you in 2 weeks and love you all. Bye bye.